Hi, this is Andrew Aversa with Impact Soundworks, and today I'd like to share with you Leonard Solomon's Extraordinary Machines. Now, this is one of the most unique sample libraries we've ever done, or I think that anybody has ever done. The best way to summarize it is just to hear and see it in action with an example piece, so enjoy. And there you have the extraordinary machines. In case it isn't apparent already, these are all 100% custom-made instruments by Mr. Leonard Solomon. Now, this incredible inventor, musician, and entertainer has been creating custom instruments for over 40 years. And with this library, you have a huge range of them in your DAW. These whimsical instruments are perfect for all kinds of animation scoring, comedy, lighthearted scenes, and things like that. So let's take a closer look. This first patch is the Bellophone. Absolutely wonderful. As you play the keys on the keyboard, you'll see that these correspond to different parts of the instrument. For example, that's the low horn, this is the beaker horn, this is the tall horn. They all have different pitches and timbres. All of the instruments were recorded with 2 microphones, which you can adjust here. You can also change the output if you want to mix them separately. And then each of the components of each of these instruments, so the Bellophone is the overall patch, but within this, all of these can be adjusted separately. So for example, if I play the little pipe 1, I can change the pan of this. But then for the little pipe 2 and 3, I can set up separate panning. And the same goes for other controls like the EQ and envelope. So let's say the small or low horns. Maybe these have too much high frequency for our tastes. But we want to actually increase the high frequencies on one of these other horns. This makes it really easy to customize the instrument to your taste. However, one thing to note is that the microphone positions are universal to all the instruments, so it's the same mic mix for each. Also, there is a handy effects track. This is based on our console technology. Or we could add some custom reverb. So it's very easy to customize these instruments to your liking. Next up, let's check out the Calio Forte. This is more of a traditional keyboard style instrument. It's basically an organ. And this upper range has super high pitches. This is an instrument that Leonard uses in some of his YouTube videos, so you'll definitely recognize it if you've seen those. And then we've got the Oomphalapompatronium, which is absolutely wild in its appearance and construction, but it's actually quite playable. It has a very reedy sound. Now, it's worth mentioning that the tuned knob here brings the tuning of these individual instruments to a more standard A440 based tuning, but if you want the more naturalistic tuning, you can reduce this knob. Or you can put it somewhere in between. Here are the tonal horns. There's the aptly named big horn. Then the lurch horns, which are just wonderful. Really just the perfect name for those. Then there's the hunting horns and the looping drones. We could make these more pad-like with some attack and release. And then we have breath noises at the top. By the way, for some of these, we actually have articulation mapping, if you can believe that, with just long and shorts. So for example, on the lurch horns, we have that set. At the moment in this patch, longs are up to velocity 117 and shorts are above 117, but we could change that. We can make it so that shorts are the upper range and longs are down here. Moving on, we've got the bottle organ, which I really enjoy playing. This is the most carousel-like instrument, if that makes sense. And just like the others, it does have multiple articulations, short, medium, and long. And the interesting thing is the real instrument has to be re-inflated. So that can be controlled in a few ways. You can either increase the auto-inflate knob, which is kind of like a release trigger, or you can manually use the inflate key. Let's hear that one more time. Again, just perfect. In the miscellaneous category, we've got some great one-offs. Here are the options. We've got the pneumatic cymbals. And once again, you can adjust the EQ and release here. So if you wanted these to be shorter and more tight, you can do that. The cuckoo, enough said. That's the small horn. And then there's the laughing horn. Did I already say that this is a very whimsical library? Okay, just making sure. And then the warbler whistle. We also have the classic kazoo. Does that counts as parody, right? Okay. Now the kazoo is not the most dynamic instrument, but we do have mod wheel to low pass filter if you want to control the dynamics in a manner of speaking. And up here we have kazoo phrases, which you can use for a little bit of flavor. Now, that's where the acoustic side of the library ends, but we also have some bonus tonal and atonal instruments, some of which you heard in my demo. In the sound design tonal category, we have a menu of instruments here. These are all based on the acoustic material. Here is the baritone bottle. Let's check out a few other ones. You can also navigate with the arrows over here. There are also more textural, slightly more serious sounds like this. There are a couple of handy sound design things here. The gator in particular is nice. So if you turn this on and you sync it, then you can do a rhythmic gate to your host BPM. And these are saved on a per instrument basis as well. Gargantuan kazoo, that has gate enabled, but the growl flute does not. Finally, we have the atonal sound design category. These are not pitched and spread out. Rather, each key is a different hit or texture, basically menu style. And there you have Leonard Solomon's Extraordinary Machines. I highly encourage you to check out some of his videos and his other work that's out there on the internet. It's truly wild, very creative, and we're really happy to have had the opportunity to sample it. You can pick up Leonard Solomon's Extraordinary Machines now for Contact Player, that's the free version, 6 or higher. And as always, if you're an existing customer on our website, be sure to check out your customer portal, as you may have some cross-grade deals for this new release. All right, this has been Andrew Aversa. I'll see you in the next one.